Hey everyone, if you're looking for something funny, this video is not the place to be. You're gonna be sad, and so if you want something funny, just leave right now. If you're still here, today obviously we're gonna talk about prostitution, and there are two sides to it. One, consensual, and there I just want to say that if two people, two consenting adults, what they're doing with their money, their body, and in their private space, it's their own prerogative. I have nothing to say about that. It's their own. I don't want to judge people. I don't think I have the right to judge them. Now, the most important thing, what we're going to talk about is the non consensual part, the sex trafficking and everything. Now, how many of you think that prostitution is illegal in India? Well, you would be wrong because it's not. The laws in our constitution regarding the profession of prostitution are very dubious. So, what it translates to is basically most of it is that prostitution in itself is legal, but soliciting customers in a public area or on social platforms is not legal. Pimping is not legal, neither is owning a brothel. However, all of these go on in India very blatantly. If you are living in a metropolitan city, and you don't even have to live in a metropolitan city, I think, because in so many places there are so many red light areas, and you just know, people know. I have known since very long. Like, people talk about it, they just avoid that areas because good people don't go to that areas. But who goes to that areas? I mean, those people who do go, they are not coming from another planet. So, the fact is, and the law enforcement obviously is not doing a lot. Why would they? It's extra cash. And don't try to come for me saying the law enforcement is doing this. A lot of law enforcement is might be doing some good stuff, but a huge part of it is not. Because if an interviewer from some channel can go there and interview these women and these pimps, then so can the law enforcement go in and rescue them. And I say rescue because so many of them are not there by their choice. They do not have good living conditions. Good, let alone they do not have humane living conditions. Imagine living in a space that's smaller than your washroom. That's true. That is how horrible these conditions are. And it's been going on for so long, and we don't give respect to these prostitutes. We never do. They are horrible people. Well, prostitution was the first kind of trade in the world. If you google it, what was one of the oldest trades, prostitution comes up. There has always been the consumerism. That is why there is a provider base. But what bothers me is that so many of them want to get out of this but are scared. And the reason of that is us. It's a lot of social stigma. And because I want to say this dialogue from a movie, it was a very high budget movie. You people will probably know what movie it is. Mr. X को पकड़ना और तवायफ की लुटती इज्जत बचाना दोनों ही नामुमकिन है. Now, I don't think it reflects the personal views of the actor, but the fact that it was okay to put that in the movie and let it out to a mass media, and the fact that it was acceptable as something funny and positive, that is so cringeworthy to me. And that tells us something about us as a society. Now we also see these videos, because I've seen some short videos and stuff where there are these prostitutes in so much trouble and they're just helpless and forced into it, and sometimes they will say, oh, I can't go out because like, I can't stop this because who will marry me? I will not have a future. And then this great guy comes along and he's like, I will marry you, I'll help you out. And no, I think when the girl says that I can't come out of this profession is because there will be no one to marry me, is I think when we have failed her as a society. Because If you are gonna stay in that hellhole because you are so afraid that no one is gonna marry you, I mean, that, what have we taught our girls? What message are we portraying? Now, the reason why I talk about, well, what's the point of me talking about this? I know it seems I'm just talking about, I'm ranting, but there is a reason to it. Listen to me. So my mom has been working with NGOs for a very long time. So very now she has to go to villages also to for some stuff and all. So we have come across these situations where there were victims. Now, what is the problem with this is, even if you want to help someone out, suppose you want to help a victim out of this situation, so you would want to take them to a police, you would want to take them out to, like, out of that situation. What if the victim does not want to be helped? Yes, and it sounds so bizarre, but that's true. So many women don't want to go to the police, don't and refuse help. They are like no, because they're scared for their life. They're scared for the life of their children if they have any. They're scared because the what will the society say? They're scared that the police will just catch them and put them back, because that has happened. I did hear from a woman who interviewed that had happened in one of the brothels. Is one escaped and then she was caught back, and with the help of police, and just put back in. And when they are put back in, it's even worse. So what do you do then? You can't drag them and take them to a police station. You can't drag them and rehabilitate them. You need their consent. And that is why I am talking. I want this conversation to be mainstream. I want this everyone to talk about it. I want people to say that okay, that I want this conversation, because at the end I want this to reach to so many. Now that there is internet and people do watch stuff and talk about it, is great, because now the when a victim comes out, I think she will be able to see that there is a number of people who are not going to shame on her, who are going to support her, and who are not gonna look down upon her because she had been a victim. And that she will have some support from the mass, like the mass of people. We do have a lot of power of helping out victims, because so much people talk about feminism and women's issues, which I think are definitely important, but they have become mainstream conversations nowadays. But this, on the other hand, I see comparatively less, because this is a profession I think everybody just looks down upon. It's just because so many people, I have heard people say, I would rather die than sell my body. You probably would die, but this is not your place to say what you would have done in their place. People do what they have to survive. You don't know what they were like, they were put through. You have no idea what goes on in sex trafficking if you have not been in that situation. So never say that. Don't look down upon these people. You have no idea what goes on. And why should you care, first of all? Why should you? Okay, in this moment, in this very second, a 10-year-old girl, a 10-year-old boy was just sex trafficked. He was raped and beaten up. Let the moment pass. Okay, again, another child is being sex trafficked right now. Yeah, right now. These are statistics. One Google search away. Do it. How can you be okay with that? And these kids, let's just, because I'm, these kids, these women, and I say, and I include male children because that happens. We think that boys are so safe. They are not. It's not. So many kids, so many boys have been trafficked. There's a huge demand for it because people are disgusting. So there's a huge demand for it, and it does happen. So this can happen to you. This can happen to your kid. This can happen to your brother, sister. That is when you will start caring. And I know how horrible that sounds, but that's the way. And most of all, it doesn't even have to happen to someone close to you. You live in this world with these people. We live on the same earth, and we are all human. And at the end of the, how can you be okay knowing that there are children suffering like this, when you could have at least done a little bit? Maybe it was insignificant to you, but it could have played a huge part in stopping it. If we start now, maybe we will eradicate this whole sex trafficking. Maybe never, but we can try. We have to try. Also, I have understood this one thing is that the amount of victims has increased so much that it's very, very difficult to rehabilitate them. Like the sheer amount of women, and especially with our unemployment rate, it's very difficult to rehabilitate them. But we have let it reach that point. We have. We as a society have let it happen. And also so I did come across our Indian government's website, which called Ujjwal. I'll put the link down in the description. That website is for helping sex trafficking victims, reconciling them with their family, rehabilitating them. I don't know how well that works, but it's great. Like it's great an initiative. And so I want you guys to just like spread the link as much as possible, because these people are on social media. Many victims will have phones, like not so. And the thing is, I have to think that in the movies, the victims are always trying to escape from like a warehouse or something. They are not. They are victims. They are not held down by shackles physically. They owe money to pimps. They are scared. So many of them, they are not held down by chains. So many of them, there are other restrictions, there are other ways they are in that prison, in that hellhole. And also, like, it's such a blatant truth. I can't even, like, in a metropolitan city, if you are in that, I have like seen footages of pimps soliciting customers in traffic light areas, and so many people don't care. And what, I mean, people say, what can we do? If you can't, I mean, financially, I am not in that position to help so much financially. I do as much as I can, but also you can do so much. You can log into these websites. If you're seeing someone being harassed, being like maybe they are, just report it. Ask a victim, because we do come across these people. As we are growing older, the possibility of us coming across someone, a victim, or someone happening something like this is way more. And report it, talk to them, try to help them, make this a mainstream conversation, share this and talk about it, talk with your friends, because these people who like go to the prostitutes and are the prostitutes, they don't come from another planet. They are people surrounding us. Yes. And so, and the the worst, not the worst, I mean, everything about it is so terrible. I remember reading this diary of a sex trafficking survivor. She was trafficked as a child. It was horrible. You don't, and it's not just being forced into it, it's just that there is so much apart from the rape, and there are such vile acts that I can't believe a human can do to a child, to another human, is unspeakable. When I read it, I did not sleep for the night. So I don't want to say them. They are so horrible, and it angers me so much, and I don't know how it does not anger other people. Why is no one talking about it? I know some people are, and I'm not saying no one. And you have to remember, this is not just for women. This, no, this is for boys too. There are so many young boys also. Are people just laugh it out? A guy being paid for sex, oh, it's so funny. It's not. Unless it's consensual, that's a different issue. They are victims too. We need to talk about this. We need to make it okay so that the victims can come out and say, I am a victim, I need help, and there will be people helping her. There will not be people going, you shouldn't have done this, you should go back to there. There won't be the police handing her back to her pimp. So that's it. I just wanted to talk about that as little as possible. We all can contribute. We all can try. I just hope you people try a little bit. Thank you guys for watching it.